Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to check out a very iconic car. Behind me is a 2005 Ford GT. Massive shout out to my friend Vinny for providing his car for us today. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. He has a pretty cool collection of cars. They're always changing, so follow him along with the adventures and the cars that he gets. So behind me, this Ford GT is finished off in shadow black with the ingot silver stripes, which is a beautiful spec. Brand new, this car was right around $147,000. Today they are going for plus or minus $400,000. So it's definitely been an appreciating vehicle depending on mileage, color, and everything like that. So let's get into today's video with what powers the Ford GT. This has a mid-mounted all aluminum twin cam 5.4 liter supercharged V8. These were only paired to a 6-speed manual transmission, and this pumps out 550 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,300-pound supercar from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds or quicker, up to its top speed just shy of 200 miles an hour. Now this also has a fuel capacity of 17.5 gallons. You'll expect to see around 13 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 106.7 inches. Its overall length is 182.8. It has a width of 76.9, a height of 44.3, and its ground clearance measures in at 5 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this iconic supercar, let's start off with a hidden Easter egg within the headlight housings. So for Ford to celebrate their 100th year, you will notice that it spells out 100 in the headlight. You can see that indicator along with the headlights and the turn signals. Now, interestingly enough, on the passenger side, it is actually reversed. So if you're looking in a rear view mirror, that will be correct, but they had to mimic both headlights. Pretty cool to see that incorporated into the housings. Now, underneath that, there are fog lights on both sides, and then we have the stripes running right down the middle, even in the lower section there, where you will see some inlets on both sides, along with that mesh grille. The Ford badge is right in the middle, and then the front actually opens up. So if we come over to the driver's side, all you need to do is insert the key, which is right here, into that area, pull on this latch, and then you can lift up that area from there. Now, as far as cargo space goes for this supercar, it's really what you can fit in your pockets. There's really not much up front. You could maybe place some shoes or a t-shirt, something of that size. Because of these massive inlets, the heat extraction vents right here, that takes up a majority of that storage space, but you get a little bit if you need to use it. There's also another vent right in the middle, and then we have the fuel cap release on the passenger side. So just like on the driver's side, you insert the key, pull on this lever, and then you are able to fill this up. Now, as far as the side goes, this specific Ford GT does have an aftermarket set of HRE wheels, and the calipers have been changed from red to this anthracite color, which is very nice. It matches both the wheels and that silver stripe, which you can see running down the side with Ford GT right in the middle. This is also an extremely low car. It sits very low, as you can tell, low roof line to it. And then this also has cross-drilled and ventilated rotors with 4-piston Brembos. The rotors measure 14 inches up front, 13.2 inches in the rear. And for the tires up front, they measure 215 45 18, and they are 335 40 19 for the rears. And then there's also an inlet just behind the doors there to provide a lot more cooling to this mid-mounted engine. You'll see another one just in front of that. And the rear of this vehicle is super wide. You can see those fender arches on each side and just how low it comes to the back point here, where we have the taillights, more heat extraction vents surrounding the license plate. This also has an aftermarket exhaust, which we will start up here soon. And look at the size of the rear diffuser underneath. That is factory. That is pretty awesome to see. So with a look at the exterior for this iconic supercar, let's make our way to the interior, where the door is one of the biggest quirks, I will say, with this model. So in order to gain access, there is a keyhole underneath, but from there we can just push on an electronic button and swing the door open from there. Now, one thing with this car, you have to be mindful of your head, because most of the roof comes with the door, which is an interesting design. But for this door panel, pretty simple. you'll notice the trim accents. There's the grab handle, window controls, lock and unlock, and the side mirror adjustments. This is a driver focused car, so you don't need much. It'd be cool to see a little bit of storage space utilized in the door there, but that is the door panel for the FOURR GT. And for these seats, they have the carbon fiber backing. Ford is down on the door sill, and we have a very cool design with all those holes perforated in these leather seats. Now this car only has about 14,000 miles on it. Everything is in super good condition. You have a little bit of storage space behind the seats if you wanted to place some items there. And there's even a net in the front section of the seat. So if you wanted to place any items in there, you have a little bit of space. Now let's go ahead and work our way into this car where, like I mentioned earlier, it is super low. And as you can tell, let's close the door here. That is such a weird feeling. But at 5'10", my head is just up against the headliner here. So I definitely have to duck a little bit safer to duck to clear that. And then looking at the steering wheel, it's finished off in solid black leather with the brushed aluminum accents. And that's it. There's no buttons or anything. It is just you and driving the car. Now for the turn signal stock and the wiper blades, you will notice that those are straight out of a Ford Focus or another Ford interior. So there are some shared parts in this iconic supercar, but there are some unique aspects to it as well. There's brushed aluminum on the air vent, and for the gauge cluster setup, you will see the engine temperature on the left, tach right in the middle, there's oil pressure, water temperature, fuel level. Your miles per hour is actually way over on that passenger side. So it's a pretty cool setup here just to see all of the analog gauges. Very cool and different from modern vehicles, of course. Underneath that, there are all of the brushed aluminum toggles for your hazards, your defrosters, lights, and the fog lights. Very cool to see that layout. We also have the engine start button. Even though this does have a key, you have to insert the key first and then push on that button. We have the radio underneath that, a few aftermarket accessories. The handbrake is over on this passenger side, finished off in brushed aluminum. And then this is a daily driving type of supercar because you have AC and all of these controls. So you can be very comfortable while you drive this. Vinny has done tons of miles in this car already, so I'm sure that has been incredibly helpful. There's a speaker right between both of the seats. And then over on the passenger side, you have a good amount in the footwell. There's also another storage area where you can place some items. And let's take a look at visibility because we have a large window there, but we do have a pillar on both sides. I own an Audi R8 over there, so it's probably very, very similar. But yeah, that is the interior for this FOURR GT. Now, let's put this into neutral there. We can grab the key, insert it into the ignition. We will let this warm up for a split second so you can see everything come to life. And from there, let's fire this up. Okay guys, so Vinny is joining us now for the test drive in his FOURR GT. Here's my first acceleration in it. This is such a cool car. I've never really had a lot of experience even around one, so thank you again, Vinny, for even letting me get behind the wheel here. But initial impressions being in this driver's seat, this A-pillar is very close to me. I had to move the seat up a little bit, but it is pretty much in your face here. Aside from that, visibility is kind of similar to my R8 as far as being a mid-engine car goes. And then it's basically like a go-kart, would you say? Just kind of you, three pedals, and
nothing saving you.
Fun, huh?
Nothing saving you in this car.
Yeah, there's no electronic aids or anything. So we have 500 horsepower all to the rear wheels. That you definitely got to know what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we'll get straight. Now
you can get on it right here.
There we go. All right.
And you can wind it all the way up to 6,500 RPMs, and it wants to do.
That is fun. the clutch pedal and the shifter are like really easy to use.
Aren't they?
It's not a hard car to drive at all.
Not at all. Super easy.
Nice.
By the way, this is my first time riding in a FOURR GT as a passenger, so
that's so cool.
It's a whole different experience.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know what else to talk about. Anything special that you found over, you've had it 2 or 3 months now?
So I've had it about 3 months. I've always dreamed of owning one. It's one of those cars where you hear everyone talk so highly of how it drives, and then you get it and you're just like praying that it drives as well as they say, and it really does. I mean, maybe you can attest to this, but I feel like this car is one where all of your senses are going while you're driving it. Yeah. Everything from the sound of the supercharger whine to even the feel of the ball on the shifter. It's just epic.
It's definitely a different...
So let's go right.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's definitely a different feeling of engagement. I don't know how to describe it, because I have a gated manual R8, and it kind of feels the same without seeing all the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting, but... And
it almost has that gated feel and sound to a lower extent. Right. Like the R8, the gated manual is like the best sounding shifter, just and it's like shotgun shell, right? Yeah. Shotgun pump.
But I can feel that feedback, even though I can't see it like in my car, I can feel it. Right. Which is cool. The pedals are spaced pretty good too to rev match this. On the inside, it doesn't seem as loud inside as it does outside.
Yeah, it's actually very similar on the inside. With the windows down, obviously you get a little bit better experience, but no, it's pretty well insulated. I mean, you don't really hear it that much.
And you've put what, 2,000 miles on this?
Almost in what, 45 days? Yeah. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's how it should be. Like when you're buying a car like this, I can see the investment side of it too, but
it's meant to be driven.
It needs to be driven.
It needs to be shared with the public. Yeah. Because you don't see them ever, and it needs to be driven.
And that's what you do with all of your cars.
All of my cars. Yeah. And I work from home most of the time, but we live so close to the Blue Ridge Mountains that it's been a couple trips with Dad. It's been down to Charlotte, just grocery store, whatever.
I could see this. I don't know. Could you consider this a daily driving type of supercar?
Hands down, absolutely. Pretty reliable for the most part. You kind of already know the issues. It's been around for a long time. Yeah. The only thing, there's really two things with daily driving it. Number one is the value. You get a little nervous, right? Leaving it in a parking lot. Yeah. But number two is how wide the doors open. Yeah. Makes it challenging.
Especially with this part.
Yeah, because and you've probably shown how wide they open. Yeah. There's a point you can't get out of the car. Okay. And that's almost like the normal door opening. Yeah. So, most guys that have supercars and stuff, like I'm sure you guys kind of plan where you go with your cars, right? Yeah. There's a whole nother level of effort to figure out where you're going, if there's a parking lot. Because you have to, you honestly really want to make sure you get an end spot so you can open over the grass. Yeah. No,
I could definitely see that. With my R8, there are places I'm just like, I'm going to leave it home for the day. Yeah. So I could see that in this, but just being able to drive this almost every day would be so much fun.
It's the one I like. I've got 9 fun cars in my collection now, and this is the one I go to immediately every time.
This has basically been your dream car for how many years?
Pretty much since they came out. Yeah. Yeah. Lambo, awesome. Obviously, because Lambo's like every kid's dream, right? And it's you're tempting to make it to that level. But this was ultimately what I wanted.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did half throttle.
That's exactly right.
I'm not pushing it.
A lot of that power comes at the end of the power band. Yeah. It really starts to push you back when you get to the top.
Man, this is so cool. I like cars like this, like my R8, kind of the more mechanical raw factor. It's hard to say if it's more raw feeling than my car. It feels pretty well composed like mine. Yeah,
but really, this is one of those cars where this whine just is so intoxicating, isn't it? You just want to listen to the car drive.
So from second gear. All right, here we go.
There you go. See how it just loves to wind out on that top end?
Yeah. Wow.
That was fun.
That is crazy. Yeah, how was that for your first time in the passenger?
Okay, that was awesome.
So we're switching over to the POV angle now. Here we go.
Oh, cop.
All right, here we go to the speed limit. Just a nice cruise. I think he beeped at us, right?
He did, yeah. That's one thing about this car.
Yeah.
The public reaction is insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, even at the Cars and Coffee event last week, you were the only one there.
Yep.
With the GT. So, I mean, you don't see them out on the road that often.
Never. And I had a purple Performante.
Yeah.
And this gets more attention.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder what just, I guess, how iconic it is and how rare it is, too.
Yep.
Only 4,000. Do you know how many were built in 2006? I didn't look that up.
You know, I don't know the division, but
okay.
What I do know is most guys have them hidden away, not driving them because they're just riding the values.
Right.
And I'm just not one of those.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I would definitely be driving this as much as I could. Oh, going back to your point when you said, so you bought this sight unseen. You had never been in one, never driven one before.
Nope.
I can see, like, if I was in your position and I bought this, I would have no regrets, and I've only put a few miles on it so far. Like, I can feel
good
how amazing of a car this is that you wouldn't regret buying this at all.
And I've had, like I was telling you before we started filming, I've had multiple cars I've actually regretted buying because I bought them sight unseen and just didn't enjoy them. Because I drive all my cars, so if I buy something that I don't connect with, it's just going to get resold.
Well, it's interesting too. That's what I did with both of my R8s. My first R8 I bought sight unseen, and I had no regrets with it. So I bought another one because I knew what it was like. Here's the A-pillar visibility for you guys from my head here. But yeah, this is such a cool car. Now we can do one more acceleration from this light here to end today's video, but like,
I figured I'd save off the pullover clip.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good, especially in this. All right, here we go. We're up to speed. Man, this is so cool.
So when you wind this car fully out in first and second gear, you can do 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. Is what I've seen across the board, and you know
that's quick.
Yeah, and I mean it's a 20-year-old car.
Right.
You know, talk about being ahead of its time.
Have you had any maintenance requests, anything on this so far? I know you haven't had it long, but yeah.
Zero. Yeah. No, this has been flawless. And it's a Ford at the end of the day. I mean, there's certain parts that are really expensive because they're exclusive, but there's a lot of parts too that are common everyday stuff that you can get. So
yeah. Well, cool. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Vinny, once again, thank you for letting us showcase your new FOURR GT.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys follow him because he has a collection of cars. You're always getting some cool stuff to showcase, and he drives them. So that's what I think the true car enthusiast should do. Drive the collection and just experience different cars. So give him a follow. Huge thumbs up for letting us make this video today. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. And with one last acceleration, that's it for the FOURR GT.